This evening, Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited and Guyana Shore Base Incorporated signed contract extension. TIK TOKER Lisa Ramnarine remanded to prison for the second time. Over 1,500 youths enrolled in the Learn to Swim program. In the region, Panama protests, blockades continue as deal with government collapses, and internationally, heat apocalypse, Europe in the grip of record-breaking heatwave. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Guyana Shore Base Incorporated inked an 11-year extension contract with Esso Exploration and Production Guyana Limited, an ExxonMobil affiliate. The contract will run until 2033 and builds on the previous contract, which was awarded to the company in 2017. Guyana's Local Content Act was enacted to ensure that Guyanese benefit from the oil and gas sector. Guyana Shore Base Incorporated Executive Director Robin Munishwar highlighted that the company in 2017 signed a contract for 8 acres, 2 berths, and 1 warehouse. Today, it stands at 170 acres with 8 warehouses and 4 berths, with further expansion plan. Guyana Shore Base Incorporated has been working with ExxonMobil in Guyana for 11 years. The company recently moved to 70+ acres of industrial estate and will commission 2 heavy lift berths later this year. Ms. Haley Gilbert, ExxonMobil Guyana's logistics manager, said, Guyana Shore Base continues to offer comprehensive services. The signing of the decade-plus agreement shows the long-term commitment between these two business partners. Guyana Shore Base Incorporated was formed in 2017 by Munishwar Limited, Total Tech Oilfield Services, Pacific Rim Constructors, and LED Offshore Limited. It serves as the preferred offshore support for oil and gas operators in Guyana. At the ceremonial event held on Saturday, July 16 to commemorate the milestone, Guyana's Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, lauded the signing, noting that Guyana Offshore Base Incorporated has become a prime example of what is possible for Guyanese businesses in the country's relatively new oil and gas sector. An infamous and well-known TikToker who was caught trying to ship narcotics last month appeared in court to face drug trafficking accusations. More from Esther Sobers.
23-year-old Guyanese TIK TOKER Lisa Ramnarine, who was caught trying to smuggle some $560,000 worth of cocaine at DHL Shipping, Georgetown, appeared in court and was refused bail and remanded to prison for the second time. Ramnarine made her second appearance last week before Principal Magistrate Shardell Isaac Marcus at the Georgetown Magistrate Courts. The well-known TikToker entered a not guilty plea to the charge that she attempted to ship 540 grams of cocaine in religious ornaments on June 7th at DHL 5th Street, Albertown, Georgetown premises. The court heard the officer of the Custom Anti-Narcotics Unit, acting on information received, intercepted a parcel containing a Hindu Havan Kund, among other religious items, at DHL headquarters. Examination of the items determined suspected cocaine was concealed within them. Sender information retrieved from the package left the arrest of the 20-year-old Ramnarine. Ramnarine was escorted to Kanu headquarters, where the items were dismantled in her presence, revealing suspected narcotics. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. A Parfait Harmony man was on Monday remanded to prison when he appeared at the Vredenhoek Magistrates Court to answer to the charge of murder, contrary to common law, committed on 19-year-old Chris Ryan of West Bank, Demerara. The 23-year-old construction worker, Kieran Carr, of Lot 190 Parfait Harmony, West Bank, Demerara, appeared before Magistrate Faith Magusti, where the indictable charge was read to him. He was not required to plead and was remanded to prison. The court heard that on Wednesday, July 13th, at Independence Drive in the vicinity of 3rd Avenue, Parfait Harmony, Narayan and his uncle were riding home on a bicycle when Carr approached them from the opposite direction on an electric bike. He dismounted his bike and began attacking Narayan. Narayan's uncle, while fleeing the scene, saw Carr armed with an orange-handled pair of scissors, dealt his 19-year-old nephew 2 stabs, one to the lower abdomen and another to the left shoulder. Narayan collapsed and Carr rode away. Narayan was rushed to the West Demerara Regional Hospital and succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical treatment. Carr was subsequently arrested. The case was adjourned to August 4th for the report. Stick around after the break. Over 1,500 youths enroll in the Learn to Swim program and more houses to be built along the east coast of Demerara.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Teach Them Young, a collaboration between the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports and the National Sports Commission, will provide essential swimming skills to more than 1,500 young people nationally over the next 4 weeks. Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports Charles Ramson Jr. formally opened the Teach Them Young Learn to Swim program on Monday at the National Aquatic Center at Liliendal on the east coast of the Marara.
We are focusing on building the One Guyana family. We're focused on building families, and we're both focusing on building all of our talents where we can take it to the highest possible level, but we're doing it in a partnership in a framework of partnership with the sports associations, partnership with families, partnership with communities, partnership with all of the folks who are interested in taking our country forward.
The Minister Ramson said the program is carefully designed for youth to benefit.
This is a program that is designed carefully so that you can benefit. But I want the parents to understand that it's not just us running this program. Just as much as you are taking the time to bring them here, I want you to also understand that you gotta take that interest in your kids too. When they come home, you ask them, how did they have this program? What did they do? What did they learn? And encourage them to pay attention to the coaching and the lessons that they're learning.
Commissioner of the National.
Additionally, President of the Swimming Association, Dwayne Scott, said while every participant does not have the desire to compete in the sports discipline, the swimming camp will create potential swimmers. The classes are scheduled for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays until August 12th at 2 locations: Colgreen Swimming Pool, Camp Street, and the National Aquatic Center. The swimming lessons will help the participants become more comfortable in the water. They will learn how to float and safely operate. The ministry also intends to run off other programs during the school break period. A cultural program will be launched for the first time within the next few days, which will see persons gaining knowledge in arts and crafts, as well as drumming and music. They will also visit heritage sites. Similarly, a self-defense class for girls ages 11 to 18 will be launched shortly as well. The allocation of 5,000 house lots along the east coast of Demerara will commence this week, according to the Minister of Housing and Water, as the source explains.
Minister of Housing and Water has announced that the allocation of some 5,000 house lots along the east coast of Demerara will commence this week. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell made this announcement on Sunday at the opening of $300 million Harbour Complex at the Estate Road Enmore, East Coast Demerara. To fulfill its pledge to provide 50,000 house lots to Guyanese by 2025, the government has stepped up its housing initiative during the past 18 months. Minister Crowell said the government allocated close to 4,750 house lots on the East Coast alone. Allocations were made to Labon Intention, Monrepo, Annandale, Vigilance, among others. Additionally, he said the ministry is acquiring lands for the new housing development for the Guyana Lands and Survey Commission and the Guyana Sugar Corporation to meet the housing demands in Region 4. Meanwhile, Minister of Local Government, Minister Dam Lal, also spoke about some of the infrastructural development being undertaken along the East Coast corridor to complete the massive housing development. He said that by the end of the year, the government would spend an additional $15 billion to upgrade and expand community roads. Additionally, construction has started on the east bank of Demerara roads of Eccles and Ogle. To cope with the mounting traffic problems, the government has also announced plans to transform the railway embankment into 4-lane road. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Sri Lanka faces man-made food crisis as farmers stop planting, and heat apocalypse, Europe in the grip of record-breaking heat wave.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold, and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. A deal on fuel prices between Panama's government and protesters has collapsed. Indigenous groups angry about fuel and food prices have been blocking a major highway for more than a week. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampietti reports.
Protesters in Panama burned tires and blocked roads once again in the capital and across the country. In a meeting on Monday morning, a majority of protesters literally tore up the agreement reached with the government late on Sunday to end the blockades in exchange for further reducing the price of petrol.
We had told the government we had to consult with the rank and file. The agreement was signed under pressure. The people have decided and I comply with their decision. We want to tell the education minister, who could not be here today, that there is no agreement unless the issues behind this crisis are resolved.
Protesters now want more than the government's plan to reduce the price of fuel, medicine and food. Unions and indigenous groups are now demanding a national negotiation to address political corruption and discuss larger political reforms.
We have said repeatedly that there has to be one negotiating table. We have said that its structural issues need to be addressed. No more come and go on a few cents reduction on gasoline prices. Some with the cost of food, since businessmen keep accumulating wealth.
The government so far has not responded. The blockades on the Pan-American highway that connects Panama with the rest of Central America and is the country's main route for basic goods entered a third week. Economists warn the demonstrations have cost the country millions of dollars in losses and are leading to shortages of fuel and food. On Monday, most stalls at Panama's main produce market closed early for lack of fruits and vegetables.
Everything is stuck. Few things arrive. A little tomato, onions, peppers, or carrots and potatoes. And usually we can only sell 30% or so of what arrives. The rest is already ruined for being blocked for days.
Panama faces increasing social unrest and getting further away from finding a solution to end it. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera.
Internationally, former Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is said to be responsible for banning imports of chemical fertilizers, which has cut rice production in half. It is being blamed for helping to bring the country to the brink of a food emergency. Al Jazeera's Step Wesson reports.
Their paddy fields look lush and green, but in reality these farmers are struggling. On May 6 last year, they were forced to go organic overnight, and their production has plummeted since.
I am very sad that poor people are facing huge problems now.
Kumara Megastana lost his job as a construction worker after prices of cement skyrocketed. All he and his family have is a few paddy fields to feed themselves. By buying expensive fertilizer on the black market, he hopes to increase production.
I am working so hard, but it feels as if it is all for nothing. The government gave us organic fertilizer, but it's not good. With good fertilizer, we got a lot of rice, but now it's just a fraction. Before I bought good fertilizer, my harvest went down with 50%.
6 months after their dramatic decision, the government lifted the ban. By then, the country was already in its worst economic crisis since its independence 70 years ago. This is one of the painful legacies of former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's policies. The agricultural sector has nearly collapsed. In just 3 years, Sri Lanka, that long been an exporter of rice, has now been forced to import their staple food. The imports are costing the country dearly. Here in the hills around Kandy, Sri Lanka's second largest city, all of the country's current crises come together. To take their rice and vegetables to the market, farmers need fuel, which is in short supply. Those who are lucky enough to find fuel to buy find the markets nearly empty, because traders and buyers face a lack of fuel too.
We can't rely on this business anymore. If we manage to bring 500 kilos of vegetables from our farms here, there are no customers to buy it. And while the price has gone up, for example, 500 rupee a kilo, at the end of the day, I am forced to sell for 200 rupees. I keep losing money.
And the impending disaster.
Professor Marambe was sacked as a government advisor after he had warned the import ban was a recipe for disaster.
It's a man-made disaster, very unfortunately. It's too late, but still we have some hope that we are in the correct path. This is not going to say organic agriculture is bad. I mean, nobody should get that impression, right? They are all parallel lines, but we are looking at country's food security, not a food security of a small group of people.
He says domestically grown rice will run out in a few months, leaving whoever takes over as president a massive problem. How to pay for imported rice to prevent a humanitarian disaster when the government has run out of foreign currency. Stapvasen, Al Jazeera, Kandy, Sri Lanka.
And finally, a heatwave broiling Europe has moved northwards to the United Kingdom and fueled ferocious wildfires in Spain and France, where more than a dozen local temperature records were broken, Al Jazeera's Zain Bashravi reports.
Battling to control the inferno. Across Spain, it's a race against time to contain wildfires that have been raging out of control. From the south of the country to the north, where blazes have scorched 4,600 hectares of land over the past few days.
What's he doing?
Train journeys also thwarted by the worst wildfires for a decade. In a visit to one of the worst affected areas, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez made clear what he thought was to blame.
I want to say that evidently climate change kills. It kills people, kills the ecosystem, the biodiversity, and it also destroys the most precious goods of our society, which is affected by these wildfires: homes, businesses, and livestock.
We're here in a farming area, in an agricultural area near the town of Zamora, one of the worst affected parts of Spain, where the wildfires have been raging for days, and we've seen truly apocalyptic scenes. The flames are just taking over suddenly entire areas of farmland, entire buildings filled with animals and farming equipment. People are trying to use harvesters to dig fire lines to stop the fire where it is, but it continues to rage on and take over more and more land, just using it as fuel, burning further and faster. In southwest France, firefighters were using every means at their disposal, including controlled burning, a tactic used to clear out the buildup of flammable materials by igniting the surrounding vegetation. And it is a matter of urgency. Since Tuesday, the blazes have already consumed thousands of hectares of forest in the Gironde region, and thousands of residents and tourists alike forced to move to emergency shelters. Amid all this is the uncomfortable reality of the effect of record-breaking high temperatures. As delegates from 40 countries gathered at the Petersberg Climate Dialogue in Berlin, the message from the hosts: act now before it's too late.
And while we are still grappling with the fallout from the pandemic, the impacts of climate change are becoming even more dangerous across the world.
A threat that risks spilling out beyond countries directly affected. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera, Zamora, Spain.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.